What is the official name of Mother Cabrini's order?
The Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
And here we are in front of this beautiful statue of the Sacred Heart. I'm sure it's Carrara marble.
I don't know if the statue is, but certainly there's a lot of Carrara marble in the shrine. One of the things, her devotion, and she grew up during the height of the devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, the devotion to the 5 wounds and all that. But her devotion to the Sacred Heart was just profound. One of my favorite quotes of hers is she said, "Sacred Heart of Jesus, carve your heart in mine." I was like, just so fierce. It was so fierce and so visceral, really, in that sense.
So the order was founded in what year?
1880. Yeah. And she came to the U.S. in 1889. So by the time she came here, there were 140 sisters. So in 9 years, she was able to expand substantially. Right. And she originally came with 6 sisters. Within about a year and 3 months, she had another 9 coming over. And by that time, they had 400 orphans in their care.
Which is a good jumping off point to the next area of the mural, a park, people working with disabilities, hospitals. So let's talk about the orphanages first. How many did she found?
Altogether, now I don't know the exact breakout of orphanages and schools, because a lot of times they did things together.
Okay.
She had 67 different institutions.
The funding for them is mind-boggling.
She didn't worry about the funding. She
That's what makes us sane.
I'm telling you, her whole approach to things was, okay, God, you want me to do this? I'll do it, and now we'll go find the money. And she did. She did. I mean, she was fierce about it. She was really fierce. But she was not afraid of going to do anything just for lack of money. That was, and she was, a reporter once asked her, well, how do you keep track of all this stuff? Doesn't that really make you stressed? And she's like, no, I just tell the Sacred Heart, well, this is your work. You got to help me. And then the headache goes away. I'm like, okay.
It's a good lesson for
all of us, right? It's hard.
Give it to Jesus.
But I've thought about this a lot because, we all try and give things to Jesus and they stay stuck. Right. And part of the reason I think that she was so successful at it is because she gave everything to Jesus. It wasn't that she just wanted to give him her problems. She didn't want to just give him her headache. She wanted to give him every minute of every day. And that's different. That's really different.
Focused, very focused.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the park bench?
Okay, that bench is actually outside.
Interesting.
It's outside here. It's a bench. When this property here, she bought this property here in 1899. And there was a mansion here on it, and she founded it as a school, a boarding school. And she used the money from the school, and it was also a convent and other things, and the receiving house for orphans, who then went up to West Park, which is up across from Poughkeepsie. But she used the tuition money for the boarding school to pay for the free schools downtown. So, but this bench, the picture of the bench there, was a bench that she liked to sit on when she was up here, because she enjoyed sitting, and this was all country at the time, and sitting and looking out across the Hudson and getting the free air, fresh air.
For our audience, we're located in Fort Tryon Park section of New York. Why don't you just...
We're in the northern part of Manhattan, and if you can look out the back window, you'd see the Palisades looking at New Jersey. So it's a beautiful, beautiful area. And there's a fair amount of property at the time. So the shrine obviously wasn't here, and there was a big garden here. So there was space for the kids to run and to have fresh air. You're coming from the tenements of New York. So it was really, she believed very much in fresh air and exercise, and had a very holistic view of education, where you had to educate the heart, is what she would talk about, educating the heart, because you could not be a whole person if you didn't know God.
Beautiful.
So
Okay, so from the orphanage, you have the children and probably the orphanage. This is this church, but before that, throughout the country, how many schools? I mean,
Again, I don't know the exact breakdown between schools and orphanages, but throughout the world, it was 67. So, and a lot of them were combined. In fact, many of her early vocations came out of the orphanages.
oh, sure.
She was, because the first thing that she did within a week of the time that they arrived in New York was they started catechism classes for those kids. But then they started schools, and because you have to educate people, you can't just take care of them. And so there's a huge emphasis on education. She also ended up involved in healthcare because people needed healthcare.
How practical. Again, that practical aspect of her personality.
And this gentleman over here, where it's glory of America, was a working man, the working people. Because these were all working people. And that would, she went to Denver to help the miners. She went to Scranton, Pennsylvania to help the miners there. She went to New Orleans where there were longshoremen. She went, Chicago for the meatpacking. Wherever it was that people had the really awful, hard jobs that were dangerous and needed her help. The other thing I love about this pickaxe here, she started an orphanage in Seattle, and it needed a lot of work on the land. And apparently, when the workmen went home, she was ready to keep going. She wanted to keep going. So, but she wanted them to have the property ready for the next day, for when the workmen would come back. And she looked around at the sisters, and she's like, "Okay." Picked up the pickaxe and got to work, showed her how to do it, because she believed that a missionary had to be able to do whatever it was that she needed to do. So I just said, such character.
Character and strength. God bless her.
And again, remember, she was sick.
Yeah.
All the time. So, and it didn't, I was thinking the other day about how sick she was, and there are many times they thought she was going to die. Many, many, many times. And I think we tend to equate suffering with bad stuff. That suffering is traumatic or difficult or whatever. She didn't view it that way. She was always, if what you're asking me to do today is suffer, I will suffer. If what you're asking me to do today is something that seems impossible, I'll do it because you want me to do it. But it was always about what God wanted.
In true faith.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, and we have St. Joseph. Anything significant except that he's the patron of the Universal Church?
Yeah. And we have a little prayer over here on the altar right now that she had written.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was
in honor of St. Joseph?
Yeah, she was devoted to St. Joseph as well.
And Pope Francis declared this the year of St. Joseph, and it says, "You are so good to me, St. Joseph. Imprint your image within me, and always give me the grace of enjoying my beloved infant Jesus. Beloved Joseph, your gifts are great, and I do not have enough words to thank you. To you I entrust all. To you I entrust my spirit. Direct me to that true interior life of profound humility and simplicity that is safe from deception. Grant that I may always belong totally to Jesus, and that I may love him ardently and no longer feel the miseries of this world. Amen." Composed by St. Francis Xavier Cabrini. Before we end this segment, I made an error in one of our previous episodes. This is not the National Shrine, so let me go back and correct myself. And the National Shrine of Mother Cabrini is?
In Chicago.
Okay, and this is just a shrine?
The Shrine of St. Francis Cabrini.
Quite a shrine. And when you come here, by the way, if you call in advance, maybe Julia can give you a little tour, but I just gave her another job. What's better than putting up the monuments outside? We're very close to Fort Tryon Park and the cloisters, which magnificent gift of John D. Rockefeller. And so you can go make it a whole day. You can picnic here, visit here, pray here, go up to the cloisters. We're going to end this segment, and we're going to pick up again, with the voyages of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini at the Cabrini Shrine in Manhattan. God bless you.